All right, and we should now be live. Hello out there. Welcome back to Uncanny Adventures, Call of Cthulhu, the Wretched West, our wonderful Western Call of Cthulhu campaign. So we're back with our intrepid investigators. Last session, which we were just discussing, they were approached at the Owens Silver claim by three gentlemen who rode in, looking for their friends, the Owens brothers. They'd been missing. They were concerned about them, and after a brief conversation, suggested that since no one had seen them, maybe the party should delve into the silver mine and go see if they could find out if maybe the brothers had been trapped down there. So, Jed and the gentleman Barkley, who came in with these three, decided to wait outside and watch the entrance, while the rest of the group, with two lanterns between them, one carried by Delilah and one carried by Jeremiah, ventured into the mine. They discovered a gun that was left in one of the tunnels, and they delved further until they discovered bodies. It looked like something terrible had befallen these claimers of this silver mine, and they were lying in a heap. There were bullet wounds. The preacher Jeremiah decided to say a prayer over them. And then a figure walked out of the darkness. They recognized him, at least some of them did, as one of the brothers. But he looked like he had been shot. He had some kind of black liquid oozing from his mouth, maybe a little from his eyes. And he had a gun in hand. And Delilah, in a panic at seeing this, she fired a shot at this figure and screamed and ran away with her lantern in hand, dropping her gun behind her. The other two men who had come to the claim, Boggs and Clegg, quickly backpedaled and followed Delilah up the tunnel, but not before Hudson heard something about they would let them handle this time. This left Hudson, Lucas, and Jeremiah as the other four figures were getting to their feet, these dead men rising. Jeremiah jumped back, threw his lantern into the group, lit them on fire, and the one with the gun fired a crazed shot toward Jeremiah, hitting a post, making it come loose and nearly dropping the ceiling on top of the poor preacher. And that's where we find everybody tonight. So, we're going to go around and say hello to everybody, and then we're going to get back into the fun. So let's start with Celts, because we missed you last time.
Yeah, I'm very sorry about everybody. I'm the Celts. I think I was still getting up to some shenanigans with everyone last week, despite my absence. So I'm happy to be back, and I'm happy to be in the midst of what seems to be something I can shoot at. So yay. And excuse my cough and cold, everybody.
Oh, same for me. I also have a cough and cold. It's that time of year. All right, and then we will go to Brooke.
Hi, my name is Brooke, or you can find me at all the places at Theater Nerd. Because Brandon, yeah, I'm excited about what is about to happen. Or anxious and nervous is probably more accurate. Yeah.
Excited.
Sure. But no, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy we're all here.
Excellent. And how about Jamie?
I'm Jamie. I'm playing Hudson Devereaux, the lovely deputy sheriff, who there's a strong chance he's probably going to kill somebody this session. And he's kind of has 7 guns now, so that's not going to be hard.
And Dylan, how about you?
Hi, I'm Dylan. I play Jeremiah Brown, man of God, who, despite throwing a lantern on some zombies, is pyrophobic and, not having a good day. So,
outstanding. So, we immediately start inside this mine where these figures have struggled to their feet. Jeremiah is backpedaling away. The 4 of them that were on the ground are now on fire. So it does give some illumination. Hudson and Lucas, you can see Jeremiah sort of backpedaling silhouetted against these 4 figures, and you see the one with the gun kind of lumbering forward behind him. So the first thing that I would like everyone to do, I want you guys to tell me in this moment, aside from Delilah, who you still hear screaming and running, the 3 of you that are there, what do you in this moment think your intention would be as you see these figures coming toward you?
Gosh, run.
Okay.
Hudson's probably gonna run, but he's also gonna like take out the Spencer rifle he found and like aim it at them as he's kind of like backpedaling, so he's not moving as quickly, but he's just kind of got the 6 covered.
And Lucas?
I think Lucas would have probably fired off a couple of shots, like center mass.
Okay. So what you guys see is as you backpedal, Jeremiah sort of has gone backward on his hands and knees at first to avoid these rocks falling. And Hudson, as you start to run backward and you pull out the rifle and you fire, and then Lucas, you kind of unload into them. They take these bullets, and the bullets don't seem to slow them down. The fire seemed to hurt them, but the bullets seem like they're just, they take the hits, it sort of like stumbles them back, and then they keep coming forward. So in this moment, I would like everybody to give me a Constitution roll, as we have a chase going on through the Silvermine tunnels.
Including Delilah?
Including Delilah.
Oh no, my Constitution's bad.
Well, that's
Mine's actually
wonderful.
pretty decent.
Alright.
Boom! Hard success.
Excellent, excellent.
Oh, I fumbled.
Yeah, that's right. The person who's scared out of her mind can run away.
That's awesome. So, Delilah, what is your
no.
movement rate normally?
9.
All right, so Delilah, you are actually at a movement of 10 for this. What is Lucas's movement normally?
Let me see.
It'll be in the characteristics box of the character sheet.
9.
All right, so you will be at 8 for this. Hudson, what's your movement normally?
7.
7. All right, so you're down to a 6, Hudson.
I'm a slow boy.
You even, I think, like you fire the rifle, and when they keep coming, you may even fall over.
He's bulky. Hudson's bulky. He doesn't move very fast.
And Jeremiah, how about you? What is your movement?
8 normally.
An 8 normally. So Jeremiah is at a 7. Oh, nice,
The
nice.
slowest.
Let's see. So, this is fine. Everybody's
Yeah,
fine.
totally. Yeah.
I'm not going to be the one eating. Just saying.
No, not at all.
It's the only thing Delilah hoped for was that she wouldn't be the one to get eaten by
You
something.
don't have to be the fastest. You just have to be faster than the other guy.
It's true.
You have to be faster
than
than us.
everyone else.
All right. So,
Oh,
let's see.
that's good.
Well, you don't
That's
know
okay.
who
I
that...
have my own.
you
We don't know
who
who
it's
it's
for.
for.
I don't care who it's for. If it's for any of the dudes, I don't care.
That'd be Boggs and Clegg. I hope they get caught first.
That's true. I would appreciate that. They're jerks.
They did get a little bit of a lead on you, though. So,
Yeah, well,
let's see.
shoot him in the fucking
If their
leg.
movement is 5,
I mean,
it doesn't matter.
Hudson's debating shooting at them.
That's fair.
Oh, 21's good though.
That is very fair.
The lawman shooting the people.
I'll just tell them that they shot first.
Yeah, right? All
I mean,
right.
Hudson doesn't
Rights are
care.
forfeit because they're
Anyway.
dead. Zombies don't have rights.
They relinquish their rights upon death. Ooh, let's see. Constitution. Oh, yeah. They're pretty quick. All right, so.
Oh, great.
Good.
This is gonna turn out really well, guys.
It always does.
I'm
I
not
just,
concerned. I'm really not. At least in this about running out of the cave.
Yeah.
I got other worries. I have
All right,
So,
so
why, honestly.
so Delilah is screaming somewhere in the distance. The only thing you guys see of Delilah once she runs is you can see the shadows of the two men that ran after her in the lantern light. She still seems to be clinging to that lantern like it's a lifeline. And she is like hauling ass. And Delilah, you are just like, you've kind of shut down. Like you're not even like knowing what you're doing. You're just running. Something behind you terrified you, and you are just running as fast as you can. Everyone hears from somewhere up back through the mine. You guys all hear a rifle discharge somewhere. And you see the two men that are running behind Delilah. She's disappears ahead of them, but they're kind of keeping pace behind her. And they sort of disappear around the next bend and keep running. And you hear the bigger one like, just run! Get out of here! So, Lucas, you look behind you. And you can see Hudson has sort of stumbled back and landed on his back. And Jeremiah is getting to his feet, but he has these fiery forms sort of coming toward him through the darkness.
So Hudson's further back.
Hudson is behind you, yeah. He kind of falls behind you in the tunnel.
So I think the first two shots I took at just kind of like hip shots to center mass and saw they didn't do anything, I would probably get up closer to Jeremiah and then just kind of headshot one of them.
All right, so you run back toward Jeremiah, who is kind of just getting out from where the debris fell. You can roll me an attack roll to shoot at one of them, center mass in the head.
Extreme success. What?
Oh,
all right.
Wait. Did I do that right?
I believe so.
If you click on the green one, it just rolls one.
Yeah, so you run up and you fire at one of them in the head. And you hit it in the head, and it stumbles backward and falls. But you see it sort of start to roll over and try to push itself back on its feet. But you've slowed it down as it drops and lands. But it doesn't seem to have stopped it. So it probably took about half your movement to run back to Jeremiah.
Okay. So I'm going to help him to his feet. And then start retreating.
Your arm to get up.
Yeah.
All right. So you grab him up, and Jeremiah, you can sort of like, at that point, you kind of were just getting yourself together. So the two of you run back to where Hudson sort of had fallen on his, rear end. And he's kind of just righting himself and getting to his feet too. And you all look back over your shoulder, and the three that didn't go down, they're sort of coming towards you. Two of them on the ground running. One of them is like going across the ceiling. You don't even know how, like, you turned your backs and you don't even know how he got up there, but you just see this hand over hand burning zombie creature just crawling across the ceiling toward you.
Oh, fuck.
Jeremiah, can you use one of these? I'm going to hand him one of my sidearms, one of my pistols.
I can, yeah.
So there. Here, you're going to need one of these. I hand him one.
Oh, God, okay.
All right. So, Hudson, you get back to your feet, and you sort of, you see this, like, you kind of had, as you sat up, you saw the two figures running, and then you just see, it looks like one of them leaps up to the ceiling and just sort of like grabs hold and just starts clawing its way across the ceiling towards you. And it's extremely terrifying because they are still burning.
Is it like hand over hand, or is it like Spider-Man crawling on the ceiling?
It's like he's upside down, and his feet are kind of like on the ceiling too, and he's crawling toward you with his face down, like looking back at you.
Oh God, that's terrifying.
Shoot it in the head.
I'm gonna shoot it, but I'm gonna like aim towards its arm. So like if I hit it, he may just fall off the ceiling.
Okay.
Like, trying to just kind of unbalance him with a shot.
Excellent.
That won't work. Let's see if that works. Probably not. Nope.
All right, so you fire and you miss his hand, but you do hit like the ceiling above him, and it does loosen the rock, and you see he does sort of come loose a little bit, and it slows him down as rock tumbles down. You could see in the back behind the form of the one that was walking and isn't on fire, and you see him raise the hand with the gun and kind of point it in the direction of your group, and he fires the gun towards you all. But he will have to roll twice because there's a lot of debris between him and you all. So, all right, so you guys, the gun goes off, and you don't even know where the bullet goes, but you look at each other, and none of you are hit by this. As these things, two of them have almost closed a distance to where you are. Meanwhile, further up in the cave, Delilah, you were running.
Uh-huh.
You were still screaming. You see the light of the lantern you're carrying sort of like hitting off the wall. All the shadows like are terrifying you. And then you see it looks like something running towards you down this tunnel. And you're staring at it, and I need you to make me, so you're running toward the entrance and you see a figure.
Something's coming in the entrance, so we're going opposite directions?
Yes.
Okay.
I need you to roll me a sanity check, please.
Well,
No, I don't wanna.
Oh, you do. All right. So, for just a second, Delilah, you almost stop running as you think, oh my god, it's another one, it's coming for me. And then you see the kind of floppy hat, and you realize that it's Jed running down the tunnel in your direction. And then you hear, Delilah! Delilah!
I think she just keeps running at him, and stops just before him, and kind of just curls up I'm hoping in his arms. That's her goal.
All right. So yeah, he kind of grabs you as you come into his arms, and he's like, what happened? You can't even express to him what's going on. In fact, you still are sort of muffled screaming into his coat at this point. And then the two figures that were running from behind you, you see the two men come tearing ass up this corridor, and they look at you and Jed as they pass, and the big one's like, leave him in here, we'll collapse the entrance. And they bolt past.
Oh,
wait,
no.
wait, can that snap me out in any way, shape, or form? Because she's not happy. If she can gain her composure, she's not happy with him.
You kind of hear it at a distance, but you're still sort of in like the complete freak out mode of what's behind you. But Jed sort of whips around as they're running, and you can feel like he's trying to reach for the rifle that's at his side as they're running past. So meanwhile, back down the corridor, Lucas, what do you want to do? These zombie men are closing the distance between you all, and your guns seem to be less than effective on them.
Well, gentlemen, when the bullets fail, you have to rely on the boots, and I'm going to take off running in the direction that Delilah went.
All right, so Lucas runs for it. Jeremiah, what do you do?
Well, seeing that, I think Jeremiah is also going to turn around and grab his crucifix and just back hell beasts and run.
All right, so when you turn and yell back hell beast, roll me just a spot hidden.
Oh, okay.
As you look back.
Ooh.
All right, so you yell back hell beasts, and you see back beyond these burning figures. You see the one that fell has gotten back up. You see the one with the gun coming. You see it's dark behind them, but then you realize the darkness seems to move with them, and you think that there's something big back there that sort of completely absorbs light. It's just complete darkness and creep. Just roll me a sanity check.
Okay, yeah. That's fair.
Wow. Excellent. So you just lose 1 point of sanity as you yell back, and then for just a second, and then you turn and run, and just bolt past.
Okay.
So Hudson, you are still there. These figures are charging up on you. You can also roll me a spot hidden as you see Jeremiah. He seems to react to something besides these crazed creatures. Yeah, but you don't know what else it was. He must just really not care for these zombies that have risen. You think if you don't move quick, these things are going to close the distance pretty quick on you.
Yeah, Hudson's just gonna kind of sigh and go, I just want to have a nice, quiet life, and then he's just gonna start running.
All right. So you guys bolt up the tunnel, running as fast as you can. Delilah, you kind of you sort of start to like shake your head clear, but you're hugging Jed. You have like tears, like your cheeks are wet with tears. Your throat is dry and hoarse. Your lantern is laying on the ground next to you. You look kind of around you, and the last thing you knew, you were finding a chest full of silver and gold in a tent. Like, you have no idea what you're doing in this dark tunnel, and you hear heavy footfalls. You hear Jeremiah somewhere, like maybe yelp, and you hear him yell, "Back, you fiends," or whatever, and then you just, and Jed's just like, "It's all right, we gotta get out of here, we gotta get out of here. What happened?"
I don't know. Where is everyone else?
I don't know, y'all went into the mine. Those others just ran, they said something about collapsing the tunnel. I had to shoot the other one in the knee. He tried to bludgeon me over the head.
Well, good. They all... Nope, I don't remember this.
Nope.
Just kidding.
You're like, who?
What? So, but I remember them coming up. Oh, no, because I found the... Help me chronological...
So you found the coins before you went to bed the night before.
Oh, I've lost, like, the entire morning. Mm-hmm. Okay. What are you talking about? Who?
Them three boys that came into camp this morning. They just went that way. They're going to collapse the mine on us and leave us in here.
Where is... You said everyone else was in the mine?
And if you stop for a second, you hear heavy footfalls. And you hear... And you see, like, shadowy lights on the walls. Like, something's coming that's lit up from down that other tunnel.
We can't let them do that if everybody else is inside.
No, we can't. You came screaming up the tunnel like something was gonna get you.
I don't remember going in there. Are you sure you're not losing your mind?
He sort of stops for a second. I could be. It gets lonely in these hills. We should follow those boys, though, and stop them from shutting the tunnel. Or unless we should go back and help the others.
I don't know what she would do. Because, like, I think her instinct is to go back in there. Because she literally does not remember what she saw. But no, we if they're in there, we got to stop them. Because what's going to stop them from collapsing the mine on all 5 of us?
All right. Let's go. Come on. And he picks up your lantern and he bolts after the 2 men. He's like, they went this way. Did
we take any of the dynamite? I know she doesn't know about it or doesn't remember. Did we take dynamite and the fuse wire? Because I know we talked about.
None of you had retrieved the dynamite at this point. You did see that it was in the supply tent, but nobody had taken it to use for anything.
Cool.
All right, so you and Jed start running toward the entrance of this mine. You are completely lost. Like, you see these darkened tunnels. You are following his lead as he kind of like holds out a hand. He tucks his rifle back and he just kind of holds out a hand to run with you with him. And so Lucas, you round the corner in time to see 2 figures. It looks like Delilah, and you take a quick look and you realize it's Jed, who you know you left outside the mine, and they are running back toward the entrance.
I'm going to follow them and yell something to the effect of, these things ain't going down. just keep on doing what you're doing. We're right behind you.
Jed looks back over his shoulder. He's like, well, there's one of them's coming. And Jeremiah, you look back and you can see Hudson running behind you, and you just see these figures, and they're like only feet behind Hudson, like running, arms outstretched, clawing at his back, trying to get to him.
Okay. Cool. Beans.
Oh.
Okay. I want to try something. That's probably a bad idea. Can I like try and shoot a support beam on the ceiling, like above where they're at?
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead and give me a roll with your gun.
Oh God.
Oh, please, God.
Oh. So,
Ooh.
Hudson, you're running. Jeremiah's like about to turn a corner ahead of you, and you just see him like stop and spin around with a gun in hand.
Does it look like he's pointing it towards me, sort of?
I mean, at first it might.
Jerry!
It maybe hesitates there for another second on Jerry, and then you hear the echo of the gunshot, and there's a crash, like a cracking and a crashing sound behind you, and you start to see like you could feel dust and debris kind of start raining on your shoulders a little bit. Give me just a dexterity check, but you have a advantage. You have advantage die because he did really well on aiming his shot.
Look,
Come
I've
on,
been rolling
Hudson.
so bad this entire game. Oh, thank God.
All right, so a big piece of timber that's holding up the section behind you, it comes loose, and you feel it like drop right behind your shoulders as you sort of put on a burst of speed and like throw yourself forward away from it as debris rains down, and you hear behind you like the grunts and groans of as these creatures are sort of like hit by the debris as it falls, and it kind of slows them. But it also gets very dark as it sort of douses the fire that's on them.
Oh, fuck.
So you guys are kind of dropped into darkness a little bit. The only thing saving you is there's just a little bit of light where you can still just make out Delilah's lantern. So you all, this slows them down enough that you two manage to put some distance, and you catch up with Lucas as you're all running around the corner.
Yeah, as Hudson's running by Jeremiah, he's going to be like, nice shot there, Jerry, and like hit him on the back while he's still running full speed. So he's just like, boom, like almost clotheslines him and just keeps running.
Jeremiah,
like I'm pretty sure there's a starfish on the back right now.
Jeremiah probably like goes past Lucas at that point because he just gets a full burst of speed from the big man.
I just like hoist him and throw him across the room.
So Delilah, you look back, you can see Lucas running behind you. You and Jed sort of come around a corner, and you see sunlight up ahead of you. And you see, it looks like one figure lying on the ground. He's like holding his knee up to his chest. And you can hear him now. He shot me! He bloody shot my knee! Shot out my kneecap! And you see...
She has this intense urge to like stab him to somewhere to get him to curse her. But I think she's more focused on keeping everybody safe.
And you see the other two men. One of them is like... He's got his rifle in hand, he's got it backward, and he's slamming on the support over the entryway with the back of his rifle, trying to like break it as you guys come running. And the third one is like, oh, look out, it's the one that shot him, here they come. And you see him pull out his pistol and point it toward you, and he's like, stop right there, you stay in there, if anybody's getting eaten today, it's all you, not us.
Yeah, she doesn't listen well.
Yeah, so this is the first time you see these guys. Like, you see this big burly man, this, he's got like a lot of facial hair. You see this tall, thinner guy with blonde hair and this like blonde stash, and then this like dirty, smaller guy who's just rolling on the ground holding his knee. And you can see blood everywhere.
Her goal, and I know she's probably smaller than all of these guys, but what I would like to do is run up and try to tackle the guy who is rifle butting the support beam.
Okay.
I don't care if it gets her shot, but she's not leaving her friends to die in there with a bunch of walking dead.
So you charge forward at the bigger man, and he sort of sees you coming and like looks surprised. You can roll me a fighting brawl as you charge in to hit him, and he is going to attempt to like shove you back.
Which is probably narratively correct.
All right. So he turns around. He actually like brings the rifle down and sort of like slams you with the rifle, and like kind of gets you right in the solar plexus, and you like get the wind knocked out of you, and you fall back kind of into the entryway. You do take 1 hit point of damage as you have the wind knocked out of you, and that is going to bruise tomorrow probably.
Mm-hmm.
Jed yells out in anger, and you guys back in the cave hear him just bellow. You hear the sound of his gun just, and he levels it at the bigger man, and then you just hear it discharge as he shoots at this guy. So, good old Jed.
Don't mess with true love, man. Don't do that.
So, he's only about 20 meters away when he shoots him with his gun.
God dang it.
Yep, but he will miss him, but the other man is like, hey, don't you do that, and he's gonna fire his pistol at Jed.
Oh, no. I don't like any of this.
So he will shoot at Jed, and Jed does get shot by this.
God. No.
Do. Ow. So Jed, you see him get hit like in the upper shoulder, and he kind of reels back, and his gun hits the ground, and he grabs the bleeding wound, and he sort of looks like he's staggered by this shot. He's severely injured by this bullet wound. Meanwhile, Lucas, you sort of round the corner as you see Jed kind of backpedal as he takes this injury.
Do I see his gun fall?
Yeah, you do. You see him drop his shotgun.
So I'm going to yell back, boys, come out shooting. And I'm going to, as soon as I exit the cave, the first person I see with a gun in hand, I'm going to fire at him.
All right, so you can see the big man with his rifle. You see he's just kind of bringing it back from having like slammed it into Delilah, who is also on the ground.
So that's who I'll shoot at.
All right.
Yes!
Oh.
Sorry.
All right. So you will hit him. How much damage do you do?
Oh, you know what? I should have used this, huh?
All right. So because you had extreme success, let's see. You deal maximum damage plus maximum damage bonus.
I don't think I have a damage bonus.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna roll this just for the damage part of it.
Well, you would get your maximum damage because you did extreme success on your shot.
Okay.
So what is the maximum your gun can do to him?
Oh, I don't even know.
It looks like it's 1d10 plus 2.
So 12.
Yeah.
12.
All right.
Thank you.
So 12 points of damage.
Now, is the big guy Boggs the one who looks like he's the leader? Or is
Yeah.
that Clegg?
Yep.
Okay. I couldn't remember the physical descriptions on them.
I think Clegg's the one with the mustache, right?
Yeah, and then Barkley's the one who's kind of in pain right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
on the ground.
Barkley is definitely in pain. All right, so let's see. Both he and Jed both took what's known as a major wound. So,
I do not like the sounds of this.
I know.
Only because I decided to do the noble thing and try to save everybody. We could have just ran.
And that was like some real gung fu stuff too. I would have come out of the cave sliding on my knees.
Excellent.
Shot, and then kind of stepped up to spin around and draw the gun on the other guy.
Nice.
Oof. So.
Oh, that may be for Jed though.
Yeah, that is for Jed. So Jed, as Lucas goes by, Jed took the shot. He's stumbling back, holding the wound, and he sort of falls backward. And Delilah, when you kind of roll over and look, you see that he falls to the ground, and his eyes are closed. He is unconscious. The big man.
He's not dead yet.
He slams against the wall, and he kind of curses under his breath as he grabs his bleeding gut. But he manages to stay on his feet and not lose consciousness from the wound. So
You might not have a choice in a minute.
Always a good time. All right, so Lucas sort of slides past you as he does this, and kind of is now between you and these men, who turns out don't seem to be what they appeared to be.
No, they definitely appeared to be what they were.
All right.
Slimy men.
So, Jeremiah, you and Hudson are running. You look back, and you can't see your pursuers now, but also the fire has been put out. You hear multiple weapons discharge up ahead of you, and you hear Lucas yell back to you. What are you doing?
I'm gonna pop my the hammer on my gun back and keep running forward.
All right, so you round this corner and you see Delilah on the ground. You see Jed lying a little bit closer to you. He's sort of slumped. It looks like he's unconscious or dead. You see Lucas sliding toward the entrance, and you see the big Boggs kind of slammed up against the wall. He's trying to sort of right his rifle and point it in Lucas's direction. And the other two, one is on the ground, and the other one has a revolver in hand, and he looks like he's also going to point it toward Lucas.
Okay. I'm going to try and shoot the one with the revolver.
Okay, so you're going for Clegg?
Yeah.
All right.
Come on, baby. Actually, can I use one of my nat 20s?
I mean, yes, of course you can.
Okay, I'll do that.
Excellent.
Please do.
All right,
I'm a revolver guy.
You aim as you round the corner, taking in this whole scene, and you just fire at Clegg. You get maximum damage because you.
And it's also 12.
All right, so let's see. All right, so he also has to make a Constitution roll as you hit him. Let's see.
Fail.
Please.
All right, let's see.
That's probably a fail.
So you fire at him. You hit him like square in the chest.
Ooh.
He backpedals. His gun goes flying in the air. He kind of goes over, like he trips over the form of Barkley on the ground behind him. And you just hear him go, "Ugh!" And he kind of goes off that little ramp where, and you just see him disappear. And there is a thud.
Ouch.
Good.
And that's,
Did I do that?
And that's kind of
Jeremiah just.
and you just see like dust kind of go.
Like Wile E. Coyote style.
That was worth it. Okay.
All right, so Hudson, you were rounding the corner where Jeremiah has just stopped completely, after firing his gun. And the last thing you see is this blonde-haired, mustached figure just flying backward and disappearing, and then you hear the thud. So you see Boggs in the entryway. You see all the rest of, like, your friends just sort of, like, in random phases of being on the ground. Lucas looks like he's running into this mess. Sliding.
Hudson's going to drop the Spencer rifle because he used all the shots on that one. He's going to pull out his own personal shotgun, aim it at Boggs and go, I told you not to fucking lie to me, and I'm going to nat 20 shoot him in the chest.
Wait, come on. Okay, you do what you want.
All right.
It's the principle of the matter.
He just killed my boyfriend?
You have nat 20s for first aid. You'll help him. He'll be fine.
Oh, that's true. I do have that.
He'll be fine.
All right. So, Boggs is just getting his rifle up. He's sort of pointing it at the sliding form of Lucas, and he, like, turns, and you just hit him. And you see him just slam against the wall again, and then he just falls forward and stops moving where he lands.
Then Hudson's going to pick up this Spencer rifle he dropped, tuck it away, and just start slowly walking out.
Barkley, he
just badass style, just like, who's next?
He sees Boggs go up against the wall. You see him roll over to the edge and look down, and he rolls back over and he goes, I surrender.
Can I take an action?
Yes, Delilah, it is your turn.
Does Jed have a pistol?
Jed does in fact have his Navy pistol on him.
She's gonna unholster it from him, and she's going to walk up to Barkley.
Oh.
Because she's pissed.
Please do an executioner style, just...
I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to do it, ma'am. I didn't want to.
You're gonna tell me everything, and I probably still will kill you.
Well, I don't think we should stay here, because if you didn't kill the others, they're gonna come eat us. They're gonna come eat us like they ate Clegg. They're gonna come eat us, I swear.
What did you know before we walked in there? And I think she's got it, like, dangerously close to his forehead.
Man, we ain't got time for this. There's bad things coming up them tunnels behind us.
What did you know before you came here?
Is this the wounded guy?
Yeah, this is the guy who Jed shot his knee. He looks back into the tunnel, and he says, we knew they were all dead, but they wasn't dead, and they're coming. And he points back down the tunnel, and you see shadowy figures coming up the tunnel behind.
Oh, they can get you, and then she'll pull the trigger on him. He's fucking pissed.
Do you want to roll for it? If you roll for it, you have advantage die because you're point blank with that.
And it's a pistol?
And it's a pistol.
I do have 2 nat 20s, and this would be a narrative.
You do have 2 nat 20s.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to use one of my nat 20s to literally execute him.
I like how the three of us just nat 20 killed this whole group.
All of them. Damn.
She's pissed. She hasn't had a chance to think clearly about what she can do to help him.
And all 4 of us did max damage to them on our attacks.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So you all, as you're running forward, you see this. Lucas, like, you watch Boggs sort of slump as you were going to shoot him. You spin around and you just see Delilah with the gun to Barkley's head, and she shoots him, and he just goes back over the edge, and there's a thwap as he lands on top of Clegg at the bottom.
Oh, didn't think about that one all the way through.
You hear as Barkley hits, you hear Clegg go.
Oh, he ain't dead yet.
As it seems he may yet be breathing, but
all right.
Not so well.
Not for long.
This is the big fella.
Oh no, Boggs is down. Boggs is dead.
That's the one I took.
He has 2 big wounds in his chest, and he is gone.
Who's left that's not over the side?
None of them. Where you are, you have Delilah standing at the edge. Jed is unconscious on the ground, bleeding. Hudson and Jeremiah are just running up to catch up with you. And looking back into the silver mine, you can see the figures making their way up the tunnel. It looks like they've extracted themselves from the debris, and they're still coming after you.
I'm going to go over and inspect the support beam that they were working on before we came out. Did they get most of it going, or does it look like it's something I can collapse down now that they've got most of the work done?
You take a quick look at it, and it looks like he only maybe got a hit or two on it, and it's still in there pretty firm. Like he wasn't able to really do a lot of damage to it at this point.
You said they reacted to fire?
They did seem to be injured by fire.
Do we have a lantern that's still lit?
There is one lantern lying near Jed that Delilah had been carrying and Jed took from her.
So I'm going to I'm assuming this is like brush and things around the front of this place.
Yep.
I'm just going to start scooping up as much of it as I can and pile it in the entryway.
Okay.
And then light it with the lantern.
All right, so the rest of you managed to get up there toward the entryway and see what Lucas is doing. Delilah, you can see that Jed is still just lying there. You see he's breathing, but he is unresponsive at the moment. So what do you guys want to do?
Well, while he's picking up the brush, if I can, I would like to staunch the bleeding with probably a bit of my skirt, because that's all I've got probably by way of fabric. Not that it's covering much anyway. And then I'm going to use my other nat 20 I bought myself. Oh. And I'm going to make sure that the bleeding is as staunched as it can be, and anything else I can do. I assume I don't have needles at the moment.
All right. So using your nat 20, you manage to staunch the bleeding. He doesn't wake up immediately, but you think that you have at least done enough to stop him from bleeding out in this moment. But he looks like he's going to need more care to kind of get him back up and on his feet.
Anyone who looks at her, you can't tell if the tears... Well, no, you probably see new tears, but her face is still so wet. Like, I don't think she's, like, really even had a second to be like, I'm going to wipe the tears off of my face.
And you also, looking back, you see these figures coming up the tunnel. They're completely in shadow when you see them, but you don't know what these are. Like, they look like men walking in this direction, but you can't see them clearly.
Well, she's not going to investigate. She's more concerned about Jed anyway. Is it Jed or Jeb? I just need to know this, because I'm pretty sure I've messed it up.
It's Jed.
Okay, thank you. I think she'll ask Hudson to help her move his body. Once he's had a second to, like, catch his breath, because I think he just got out of the cave.
Yep. So, and Lucas, you are getting the pile of tinder, like, lit on fire, and it seems, as you do this, they sort of slow their movement towards you. Like, they hesitate to come closer to the fire.
So as the fire catches, then I'm going to take a few steps back and just kind of have my pistol out ready and just kind of see what they're doing.
All right.
I think when Lucas, I can tell what he's doing, Jeremiah probably goes down the ramp and, like, as best out of sight of the fire as he can, And when I go down there, I'd see Clegg and Barkley, right?
Clegg and Barkley. Barkley is lying on top of Clegg. You can see that he is dead. Clegg, on the other hand, you heard him sort of moan when Barkley hit him. And as you look, he looks like he's still breathing, but He looks really in rough shape. And he is not conscious.
Yeah, it's fair. Can I
know they're not zombies.
And try and first aid him?
Sure. Of course you can.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
All right. So you go up and you kind of push the slumped dead form of Barkley off of him, and you manage to get your hands on the wound, and you sort of like maybe pull his belt free and kind of tie off a tourniquet. And he's still unconscious, but you think that you've at least kept him alive for now.
I think
But
the
he-
whole time Jeremiah is just kind of like mumbling under his breath, God forgive you, you son of a bitch. You're going to fucking confess and you're going to like it, you motherfucker.
Such vulgar language for a man of God.
He's mad, okay? He's not having a good day.
Jerry.
So-
Jerry.
Up on top of the ramp, the Hudson and Lucas, you guys are on this side, outside in the sun. The fire is kind of right in the entryway of the cave. Box's body is a little ways past it, still inside. And you see one of these figures sort of like come forward, hesitate at the edge of the fire, and then come into the firelight, and you see the black oozing from its eyes. And you see it grab hold of the ankle of Boggs and then start pulling him back into
I
the
wanted
cave.
to try and get Boggs before he did all this.
Do you want to try to pull him away?
Well, no, because I'd have to get into the fire to do that. Since it's not getting in there.
There's some room you could maneuver around it.
No, I'm just gonna let it happen.
Okay.
He deserves it.
Yeah, so you see his slumped form. You just see this man grab hold, and he kind of makes eye contact with the two of you, and he just slowly pulls him out of sight. And they kind of stay at the edge of the light. They don't come closer.
That's fun. Hudson's gonna go over and where was Jed shot?
So Jed got shot like up in the upper shoulder, upper right.
Okay, so he'll pick up Jed and carry him kind of like bridal style, just so
Alright.
he doesn't like hurt. Because he was gonna like just fireman carry him, but he's like, that wound's not gonna work, so he'll just bridal carry him out
Excellent.
back down to the camp.
All right, so you all kind of come away from the entrance. Or Lucas, do you stay up there watching the fire?
I probably would for just a minute to make sure they're not going to brave through the flames to come out after us. Once I saw that they were kind of staying where they were, I'd probably head down to see where the rest of the people were at.
All right, yeah. If you take a couple of minutes to watch them, they don't seem like they're coming any closer. You do hear, after a little while, a crunching sound. And you realize that they're probably eating Boggs.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, good enough for me. And then I'll head down.
All right, so you guys all find yourselves at the bottom of the ramp. The unconscious form of Jed, the unconscious Clegg, and the dead body of Barkley kind of down on the ground, looking
I
around
think-
at each other.
Delilah will say something to Hudson. I'm not under arrest now, am I? I mean, I did kind of murder a man.
And he deserved it. It's a gray area. And he's just going to keep carrying Jed to one of the tents that had a bed in it. Just to set him down so he can start resting.
Lucas is going to notice Jeremiah and what are you doing? You realize we put him like that, right?
Yes, I do. Yes. But he has a right in God's eyes to speak for himself, and I think that information could be useful to us, maybe. So,
Lucas is going to walk over and pull a gun out on the guy.
there.
I was like, on Jeremiah, what are we doing?
No,
Okay.
you
Barkley.
really think this bag of dust right here has got anything worth keeping him alive for?
Think Jeremiah turns and sort of like looks at the gun, and he looks back at Clegg and just kind of says, well, yeah, if he doesn't, then you can have your way with him if you'd like. That doesn't matter to me. He dug his own grave.
Well, I really hope he doesn't mean he dug one for us too, and West letting him live is going to put us in it. I'll holster my gun. Walk away.
So looking at these two men, both Jed and Clegg, they look like they're going to need some kind of medical attention.
Okay.
More than just a field first aid could maybe do.
So we're gonna have to get back to camp. Not camp, town.
Town, yeah, and get to the doctor.
Or get the doctor to come up here.
Or
but I don't particularly want to stay here.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, we can leave Clegg here for all I care.
My vote is we get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Bid fair exodus from this hellhole.
One other thing, Hudson. I may have found the deed to the claim. I think the four of us should keep this, lest somebody else stumble upon whatever it was in there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even if we have the paper to it, they can still stumble in on it. We gotta kind of walk the way in. Because everyone knows the Owen brothers are gonna come looking for him again.
Yeah. Did we okay, I need to know this, because I realized I don't know. I did see kind of I know there's something in there. I don't know what it is. When did we find that dynamite for purposes of my memory?
The day before.
Okay. I mean, we do have the dynamite. I was hoping to use it on those bug things, but I also found some gold and silver in the same chest that the deed to the claim was in. So if nothing else, we can probably buy some more dynamite and resupply.
Good point.
Where are we dynamite at? Are we closing the mine down?
Well, that was what I was thinking. So even if somebody comes looking for them, unless they dig open the mine as a bit of a deterrent. Also make sure that whatever was in there does not come out.
Yeah.
Or makes it far, far, far more difficult.
Well, I mean, if we do that, then I don't think we need to worry about the claim, because it's not like we can use it anymore. The mine's
But it is still a deed to the land around it.
I guess.
So nobody goes digging again.
I mean, I got a house, so.
I mean, technically I have a place to lay my head. I'm not saying that any of us should live here or work the land. I'm just saying I would hate for someone who...
Well, if we just collapse the entrance, that can be dug out fairly easy. Most of the work's already done deeper in the mine.
Yeah.
But we could try to position the charge, closer to the outside of it, just so that it detours any onlookers of going to see what's inside, and it might keep them from coming out.
You mean further down?
Yeah, well, no, like collapse it closer to the outside so that it's not so much to have to dig out if we wanted to get back in there.
Okay.
I mean, we've got the dynamite. This is not really my area of expertise.
Nor mine.
Yeah, you got me.
If only I could charm the rocks into falling down. That would be something I'd be good at.
We could also just make a sign and write "dead" inside and put it right in the out front of the entrance to the mine.
Don't dead, open inside.
That's right.
Exactly.
Oh God.
We could do that. We could also maybe collapse entrance to the mine and the tunnel that we came in through. Because it's like in a valley, right, Jeanette?
Yeah, when you guys came in, it looked like they had, tunneled in through like a rock wall and then had kind of set up camp in this little valley before where the mine was.
So
I suppose we need to decide if we're going to try to take Clegg with us or not.
I'll take him.
I mean, I don't really think he deserves it, Father.
It's not our right to judge. That is God's
we all
place.
I mean, we did shoot at him and severely maim him. I'm pretty sure we all judged.
Jeremiah is the one that shot him.
You make a fair point.
Yeah, Jeremiah shot him, by the way.
Well, okay, I get it. You feel guilty. Okay, but if you want to take him down, by all means, Father. If it'll clean your conscience a bit.
Yeah. I'm just hoping we don't run into whoever that person we saw on the way up here was.
The horn thing.
Oh, the thing that I saw that none of y'all did.
Yeah.
Until I pointed it out.
That thing, yeah.
Yeah. Jeanette, you said there were 2 supply tents?
There was like a food tent and then like a supply tent.
I suggest we take the food, because it's just going to go bad.
Well, and we have extra horses. We have at least 3 extra horses, because we have the ones that Buck Faces rode in on.
It's true.
I think Hudson's just going to go and start emptying out the food supply tent. He's kind of letting the rest of them talk.
All right. And as you guys are doing this, you the fire, the brush and stuff in the entrance, you notice it burned down a little bit, and you can see sort of behind it, kind of coming just to the edge of the light and then moving back. You see these figures, but they look like they come out almost to where the sunlight is and then back away from it.
That's good.
Yeah, we're all able to make that distinction that they're shying away from the sunlight.
Yep, it's the first time you think one of them's about to come out, and then he backs away, and then you do realize like they come just to the edge of the light where you can just see them, and then they back into the darkness of the cave.
Does it look like it's the same number, or does it look like one has been added to their rank?
Make me a spot roll there, spot hidden, just to kind of see if you can judge how many there are. Oh yeah, you definitely think there's at least 3 more of them.
Oh man,
Fun.
Hudson thinks they're multiplying.
they are.
Let's collapse that mine.
I mean, I think at the very least, let's start with collapsing the front of the mine, regardless of what else we do.
Yeah.
Well, I have an idea. So we got dynamite. Is it like dynamite where we like light it and toss it, or is it like?
So you can see that there's you can either light it and toss it in, but you also have where you could put it together in bundles and run a wire to it, and then use a box to ignite it. You do have a ignition there.
Well, my idea is they won't come out of the sun, so we light a stick, chuck it into the mine, see if we can take some out, or maybe the force will push them out into the sun, and we see what happens.
Oh. Interesting.
I really don't want to fight one in case one comes flying out.
Well, the sun may just make it shrivel. We don't know. They won't come out into the sunlight. They don't like it.
Okay, you go have fun. I'm going to stay here with Jed. Scream loudly if you need me to come running like a banshee.
All right, stay here with your boyfriend.
We all know I can scream and run like one.
When you say that you're going to stay there with Jed, you hear his voice, and he's like, Delilah.
Yes?
Am I dead?
No. We might have some things to talk about when we get back to town.
Oh, all right. We're going back to town then.
Eventually, we've got a few things we got to take care of first.
Tell the deputy I didn't run. I didn't run. Well, I ran, but I didn't run away.
I don't think he's worried about that right now.
Yeah, I don't think I could run right now if I wanted to, Delilah.
I think at this point she's gonna just plant another kiss on him, just to get him to just like sit down, lay quietly.
You kiss him, and he kind of like he kisses you back, and then when he like come up and he says, "If my heart stopped now, it'd be all right, Delilah."
Well, I'm glad we could have this moment.
If Hudson hears that, he just groans loudly.
I prefer your heart just doesn't stop anytime soon. I might have point blank killed a man because I thought those guys had killed you.
That's one of the sweetest things anyone's ever done for me.
I think at this point, she's got her knife in one boot and his Navy revolver in the other. And she'll be like, here, I might have borrowed this.
Well, that's all right. You did well with it. You should hang on to it until I'm back on my feet.
Okay. She'll
all right.
Stick it back in her boot.
Excellent.
Now, are these things coming out of the cave enough to where they decide they don't like sunlight, or is there something almost like keeping them from coming all the way out?
They just, from what you can see, it looks like they come just to where they're at the edge of the sunlight, so you can kind of see them a little bit, and then they back away and go back in. You don't know if they're, like, you don't see the sunlight touch them, per se, so that you don't know what effect it has on them. But they seem remiss to come out.
Okay, so I want to try something while we're getting the dynamite situation squared away. What's the guy from the other gang's name that we have that's alive?
His name is Clegg. His name is Melvin Clegg.
I'm going to look at Jeremiah and just say, I ain't gonna kill him, but I need to borrow a piece of him. I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna pull my bowie knife out and cut off his thumb.
Oh, okay.
This poor guy, we should have just left him to die.
We should just kill him at this point. We're just torturing him.
You don't need two thumbs.
So he's kind of lying there, like shallow breathing, kind of unconscious. He's got this tourniquet wrapped, and you cut off his thumb, and he sort of like his eyes fly open, and he's kind of shrieks, in pain at his thumb being cut off.
And
then he sort of almost sits up, and then he just sort of slumps back and passes out again.
I'm gonna take his thumb and walk back up to the entrance of the cave.
Okay.
And toss it a good, 10 feet from the entrance of the cave, and sit there with my rifle out, see if any of them come out for it.
All right, so you walk up and you toss this thumb, and you see one of them sort of come forward. You can just see it at the edge of the light, and then you see it sort of creep into the sunlight and kind of lean toward the thumb, and it's kind of like sniffing at it a little bit at a distance.
As soon as it's out, its head's out of the cave enough to where it's in the sun, I'm going to shoot it in the head.
All right, roll to shoot at him.
Please.
Oh.
All right, so you roll to shoot, and he seems to like at that instant notice you. His head turns towards you, and he sort of gives like a low growl, and then he ducks back into the cave. And then you hear the voice of Elvin from inside, and he says, "Why you shoot? We friends?"
This thing's talking to me?
So there was one of them that was
us.
one of them talked to you last time. So
Yeah.
that same voice talks again.
He talks creepily, but he talks to us.
Oh, that's just creepy.
Yeah.
And you guys hear this voice echo from the entrance of the cave. You just kind of look back like,
Who am I speaking to?
"We Elvin."
We, Elvin?
Alvin?
Oh, hell no.
He's one of the Owens boys. Your character probably has heard us talk about him.
Yep.
Come on out here and talk to me so we have a proper chat, Alvin.
You know shoot? if Elvin come out.
If Elvin don't try to take a bite out of nobody, I won't shoot.
Elvin is full.
Oh God.
That's disturbing.
Only thing Boggs was good for.
Yeah. Good thing he's big. Yeah.
You hear a shambling footstep, and then another, and then you see the form of Elvin Owens sort of shamble out into view in the sunlight. He's got the gun still at his side, but he's not pointing it. And he looks around, and he looks at Lucas, and he says, "You come back."
Are you asking me to come back, or are you acknowledging that I've come back?
You come back in the cave. We friends. You friends with Elvin.
I don't think so. I'm going to kick the thumb towards him a little bit closer.
It looks at the thumb and says, "Elvin full now."
So who are your friends back here, Elvin?
Friends? Brothers.
Oh, yeah. How many of your brothers are back there?
All that we didn't eat.
You're making it really hard for me not to shoot you, Elvin.
We friends. Plenty of silver in mine for all to share.
What would be the most unfriendly thing somebody could do to someone like you, Elvin?
Not know what you say.
Hey, you all want to come up here?
Not particularly, but I'll come up.
Thinking the same thing.
all of a sudden, these fellas are chatty, and I don't really know what to ask them. I'm really fighting the urge to just pull trigger.
Yeah, I'll come up there.
Hudson will come up. He doesn't want to come up, but he'll come up.
I think at this point, I probably would have tied Clegg up.
I was gonna handcuff him.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, that works.
I still got my cuffs.
I was going to say use thumb cuffs, but he doesn't have two thumbs anymore.
And then I go up there with Lucas and Hudson.
Yeah, I'll go on up.
I don't want to leave those boys entirely to their own devices. Even though I think it was my suggestion to go into the cave to begin with. So Delilah will turn to Jed and she'll just be like, "Rest here. We'll be okay no matter how much screaming and yelling happens. Please don't get any more hurt."
You see him just kind of weakly nod, but you see him like put his hand out where his rifle is and sort of move it closer to him.
I mean, that's probably not a bad idea. And she'll turn to go. I think at this point, she's maybe also picked up one of the other gun belts. I don't know how this is going to work with her saloon girl dress, so that at least one of her weapons, if not both of them, are a little bit more accessible to her.
She comes out wearing it like a bandolier.
Yes! Oh my god, yes! Delilah masquerades as Rambo. You don't make her angry. Anyway, and she'll come up as well.
So as you guys approach, you do see one lone form. You can see the shadowy figures back, still in the shadows of the entrance of the cave, but you see the form of Elvin. And this is the first time you're seeing this, Delilah. Like, you see this bullet-ridden human, but with like black ooze coming from his eyes and ears. And you actually kind of like pause for a second and shudder as you see this.
Can't see it, but I was actually shaking.
Is he like visibly in the sunlight, like full on in the sun?
Yeah,
this
he
point?
has stepped into the sunlight. It is standing in the sunlight. And you can see just what a wreck he looks. Like, his skin is gray. The eyes are just this dead, like, looking eye. The black ooze just kind of comes down. It's coming out of... When he talks, you can see it in his mouth, on his teeth. and his fingers are like kind of like almost have a little bit of a rotted look to them already, and his hand with the gun just kind of twitches at his side.
Hi, Alvin. How are you?
Not hungry, but curious.
Curious about what?
You come back to mine.
Well, we wanted to make sure you were okay.
Alvin is fine now.
Well, what does Alvin do when Alvin is hungry?
Eats.
Do you eat friends, or if we brought you like a deer, would Alvin eat deer?
Dear. Yes, dear. Yes,
Does,
friend.
like-
Yes, brother. Yes.
So if we made sure Alvin had something to eat, would Alvin not eat me and my friends?
You be elven friends. You come back in.
No.
Hard
Nah.
pass.
Elvins, I saw behind y'all and your brothers and all that. Looked like there was something behind you. What's that about? If you don't mind my asking.
The abyss.
Oh. Okay.
You come back. You know more. You learn. We learn.
Oh, no.
Alvin, I'm trying to help you like stay alive or stay alive.
Elven not alive.
Say what?
We got that part.
Well, yeah, we got that. Yeah.
When did you die, Elvin?
Days, weeks, many suns.
What killed you?
I killed Elvin.
Yeah.
I assume we're not talking to Elvin anymore.
We are Elvin.
The Abyss is Elvin?
Elvin is the abyss.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense. Is there any trace of bogs at all? Like, is there any remains?
Make me a spot check.
I don't know if I want to do this, actually.
Do it. Yeah.
A little piece of finger in Elvin's teeth.
Nope. You
I
see
can spend that
no.
luck?
You
Okay.
see no
Look,
sign of bogs.
I've used a lot of luck lately, so I don't really want to use anymore.
So I think Delilah gets curious, even though Brooke as a player is like, don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's gonna peer in as far as she can see at this point.
So you go and you kind of go up the ramp so you can look into the cave to see what you see.
I thought we were already up there.
Yeah, you're kind of on it, but this you have to kind of step
Okay.
I
step
think
up.
I think she will with like her hands out. And this is really dumb, but I'm gonna do it.
Go for it.
And she's going to attempt to see what has gone on in.
All right. So go ahead and roll me a spot hidden roll, Brooke, as you step up and look inside.
Oops, I rolled 2 of them somehow.
That's all right. So you step up and you look inside and you see inside the cave you see these 4 figures, but you also see behind them it looks like these dark shapes sort of fluttering around them, and you see what looks like dark black snakes wriggling around the ground at the all around their feet. You see what looks like Boggs crawling towards you. He's like hand over hand, and you realize that his lower torso isn't there as he's sort of like crawling across the ground towards you.
Oh.
So
oh boy.
the rest of you see Delilah kind of step up and look, and then you just see her sort of like, and I want to know what everybody's dexterity scores are real quick.
Sure.
Oh no. 60.
60?
65.
Oh wow.
I rolled
70.
insanely on all of my stats.
70 for Lucas. What was Delilah? 65?
Yep.
And what about Jeremiah?
50.
Jeremiah,
Oh,
you slow little boy.
Jerry.
All right, so let's see here.
Well, we're about
I'll be
to get
fine.
another fight, apparently.
Well, we'll see.
Hashtag sorry not sorry is my RP, the story of my RP this weekend.
Fair. All right,
Okay.
let's see.
It's more fun when you don't have to let your GM intrude. You do the work for them.
You just mess around on your own, yeah.
It's true.
I agree.
She doesn't remember anything she saw. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, Lucas, you notice as Delilah has stepped up and looked inside, and she like sort of like, and starts to kind of like, sort of look left and right, looks like in shock or surprised by something. You see, looks like Elvin is turning to like lunge toward her,
Oh, you son of a bitch.
but you are quicker to react, Lucas.
Yeah, I already have my rifle out.
You do.
Right. And I'm going to say, what I tell you? And I'm going to shoot him in the back of the head.
Ooh.
Do
Go ahead
it,
and
do it, do
Roll me some.
Oh.
All right, so
it. That was close.
you
Oh my
fire
God.
at the back of Elvin's head.
Oh, you know what? I should start using the actual rifle roll. I'll roll again for damage
Okay.
with 10.
So you shoot, and you see the back of his head kind of like explode a little bit, but he is still moving toward Delilah, even though he stumbles somewhat from the impact.
Does
He's-
black goo come out of his head?
Yeah,
Perchance?
there is some black goo back there. Definitely
Okay.
black goo.
Why are you helping her describe this? Why?
I'm just wondering, you know.
For the
Um,
visual.
Yeah. For my own sick satisfaction.
As
So
soon as I see that this thing's still moving, I'm just going to look at Delilah and say, you don't, the feller with half a head gone is still coming at you. You need to move now.
so Delilah, the first thing I need from you is another sanity check.
Oh no.
Cool. Fantastic. I'm so glad I did this.
Oh, it's at least a success.
So you are broken from your stupor of staring into this cave with all these like strange creatures and moving masses of you don't even know what. Lucas's voice penetrates, and you kind of look to your left, and Elvin is indeed sort of like coming towards you, his arms out. The gun's in one hand, his other arm is out. He doesn't look like he's aiming the gun at you so much as he looks like he's about to sort of bear hug you. What do you want to do?
Well, part of me wants to bear hug him back.
Elvin
No,
Fred.
like try to jump on him and tackle him, not actually like hug. Because I assume that that's more of what this is going to end up on if I fail. I have so many choices now that I have the revolver.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think she's going to shoot him. I think she's going to shoot him.
All right, go for it.
Oh.
All right, so you wheel around with your gun and you shoot at him too, and it sort of like throws him back a little bit. More of the black ichor kind of flows from him, but he still like looks like he is staying on his feet, and he says, "You come, Elvin, take you to, as he's sort of like stumbling towards you. But he's thrown off balance by your shot. And Hudson, you're kind of like standing behind Lucas Watt as you see this suddenly like go to gunfighting again.
About how far away is Elvin?
From you, he's probably about 15 feet away.
Okay. I'm going to shoot at him, but I'm going to do our classic aim for the knee to try to make it so he can't keep walking.
Okay.
Like normal.
I'm not sure that'll matter, but okay.
Mate, slow him down. I don't know.
Science.
Oh my god.
So you shoot for his knee, but you miss as he sort of lumbers forward toward Delilah in the entrance. Yep.
Hudson's gonna kind of run at a diagonal and just yell, "Elvin, I'll be your friend." Kind of like trying to see if I could draw him away from Delilah. Because I still got like a good gap in between him,
yeah.
So kind of just like lure him away.
Okay, yeah. So you run across like up the last little bit of the ramp and across kind of behind where he is between you and the entrance. And when you say that, he does sort of turn as you go past him, and you draw his attention. Like Elvin is more than willing to take you as his friend. Jeremiah, what are you gonna do in this moment?
Good question. How far away is the camp?
So, it's about maybe 40 feet to the tent at the other side of the camp.
Okay. I think Jeremiah's going to run back towards the camp. And I think he's going to try and grab some dynamite.
All right, so you guys see Jeremiah turns and runs back across the open ground of the camp, down the little slope across, and he runs back, and you see he gets to the other side and kind of throws open the tent flaps to one of the tents, and you just see him disappear into one of the tents, and Jeremiah is out of sight.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, you hear from the tent nearby, "What's going on?" And you realize it's Jed. He's like, "What's going on? Who's that?"
It's me. Bad things. Tell you later.
And then, so Elvin has turned his attention toward Hudson. He turns and he, with surprising speed, turns and sort of like rushes right at you and attempts to kind of grab hold of you. So he is going to make a fighting brawl. So you can dodge or you could attempt to fight back as he does this.
Let me see.
I was prepared for this. I have 50 in fighting brawl. Like, she's a scrappy little scrappy.
I have 65 in fighting brawl, so
it's not bad.
Yeah, I'll try and fight him off. I'm probably gonna fail because that's all I've done this whole campaign, but sure.
But it's not like a Powered by the Apocalypse system where you get stronger by failing.
So he lunges for you.
Boom.
And you manage to get, like, you can either try to take a swing at him or you can just get out of the way. Whatever you want to do.
How close am I to the ledge?
You were pretty close to the ledge.
I'm going to get out of the way and see if, like, his forward momentum just carries him over.
And it does. If you move out of the way, Elvin goes over the edge and falls the 15 or so feet to the ground below with a thud.
And then I'm going to look immediately over the ledge to see what's about to happen.
So he is lying face down, and you see him...
If his head rotates to look at me, I swear to God, because that's where that was heading.
No, you see, like, the big bullet hole in the back of his head, and you see it still oozing, like, black. And then you see, in, like, a single motion, he sort of flips back over onto his back, and he's looking up at you. And he says, "You said friend." And you just see he sort of lunges and grabs a hold of the side of the wall, and it looks like he's gonna climb up. As
All I can think of is what something sudden and inevitable betrayal.
Curse yourself, but inevitable.
Yes, I had it, and then it disappeared. That's all I can.
He's just gonna yell, Jerry, little faster.
So Lucas, you watch. Elvin has taken a digger into the dirt below. Hudson is looking down at him. But you see the figures inside the cave starting to come toward you.
No.
Why did we come back up here?
I had an experiment or something I wanted to try, and then he started talking to me.
They opened their eyes and talked.
My fault. It's my fault. We came back up here because Delilah literally did not remember what she saw.
So bullets don't do much to these things.
They don't.
The sunlight doesn't do anything to these things.
Clearly.
How many of them are coming out, and how wide is the entrance to the cave?
So the entrance is about 15 feet wide, and you can see the 4 figures shuffling forward towards you. Just coming
like
into
a single
sunlight.
file line or like a broad?
Like broad, like they're coming in as like a full football team frontline charge.
If we're taking these folks in the tents anywhere, y'all, we better go down and start getting them the hell out of here right now, because I don't think these things aren't going down with normal means.
Hell no.
I don't know what Jeremiah's gone back to do. I just saw that he took off, so I think we should all skedaddle. And I'll start moving towards the path back down to the tents.
All right, so
I might take one crack shot at one of them just to try to put them on the ground, so it helps, slow them down getting through the tunnel.
Excellent, go for it.
And that happened.
You might collapse the tunnel.
So you fire in, and you do. Debris does rain down inside a little bit, but they seem to still be coming forward. Delia, you see this too, because you're just a few steps ahead of Lucas at that point.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I did that.
You did do that. You still, Delilah, you still see these you saw these black snakes and these flying. It looked like bats, but they, as the tunnel starts to kind of collapse a little bit, they seem to melt away into the ground and just sort of disappear, and it's just these zombie figures coming towards you.
I think we should run. And I think she's going to I think she will backpedal. How close are these things to her?
They're 15 feet away from you.
Okay, that is enough distance that turning my back isn't hopefully immediately detrimental to my life. So she will turn and run, because presumably she can figure this out.
All right, so Lucas is backing away down the path. Delilah bolts past him and just runs down the path. So Hudson, you're looking down into the eyes of your friend Elvin.
Now,
Elvin looks disappointed.
Is there a sheer cliff, or is there kind of a slope to it?
It's mostly sheer, kind of up and down.
Then I'm just gonna run for the ramp. Because I was going to try and slide down if there was any slope to it, but no, I'm just going to run for the ramp.
All right.
Just full speed, just lumbering brick house running.
All right. So the 3 of you are running for it. Jeremiah, you ran into the tent. What are you doing in the tent?
I assume we've been gathering the dynamite, since that's kind of our plan. So it's probably in a pile.
Well, it was organized. The dynamite
Okay.
and everything for igniting the dynamite, everything was organized. These guys actually had things kind of, set in a decent way for the most part.
Okay. I'm gonna take how much dynamite would you say there is?
There's quite a bit actually. There was, let's see.
I didn't write that down.
I didn't write that down either.
We have 100 feet of fuse wire. That's all I wrote down, and picks.
Yeah, there were
Not gonna
picks.
use
And
fire.
so yeah,
Or
there was.
Pick up the picks and just start axing them.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I must ask you a question.
let me pick your brain.
Ooh.
So there were 50 blasting caps, and there was a case and a half of dynamite, which you guys could have inventoried to find 37 sticks in all.
Okay. Oh gosh. Probably put together like 5 of them, let's say.
All right, so you grab 5 sticks of dynamite and just sort of grab the wires at the end and twist them.
Yep.
Okay.
And then is there like a lighter or something with them that I would be able to actually light it? I don't know how dynamite really.
Flint and steel.
Yeah, you
Okay.
you would probably have flint and steel with you.
I
Okay.
have matches. I have some
Oh,
matches.
okay.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Oh gosh. How long do I think these fuses are, like time wise?
Give me an intelligence roll.
Oh,
Since
boy.
you are probably not trained too well with dynamite.
Hey,
Oh,
Look at that.
nice.
I know though.
So, you think that you've probably got
You
about
hear the voice of God in your ear.
Jeremiah, if you throw that dynamite, you have about 15 seconds to clear out before it goes kaboom.
Turns out it's actually just Jed whispering it from her slave.
I'm just like, how long are these fuses? Yeah.
15
Okay.
seconds. Thank you, God.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna start running back.
All right,
With
so
the
you all see the tent flaps fly open, and Jeremiah is running back, and he's got something in his hands.
What did you say your movement speed was?
8.
So Delilah's gonna suggest that I am slightly faster than you are because I have a 9.
So you two are sort of running toward each other like this.
It's like kind of like a relay race in track and field. Only
Yeah,
we're
but
running
turn and
towards
run.
each other. Actually, can I see if I can see the dynamite? Because I think from this distance, it may be difficult to spot.
Go ahead and roll me a spot hidden check to see if you can determine that is what he's carrying. Oh yeah. The priest has definitely brought explosives to the party.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a priest I'd like to have at all my parties.
You want fire and brimstone? Jeremiah delivers.
Boom! Gotcha.
No, that's the other preacher man who brings fire and brimstone.
I just pictured Jeremiah doing the quote from Pulp Fiction. And then hurling the dynamite.
Jerry, I'm faster. Let me get up there.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'll give Delilah the dynamite. If
All
she
right,
wants it.
so you reach Delilah, like you two reach each other, and you just sort of like hand off the package, just like and toss it to Delilah. Meanwhile, so Hudson, you're running for it.
Mhm.
You hear.
Oh God.
And looking behind you, you see your friend Elvin come up over the lip, like, and he like sort of lunges up and over, and is sort of like airborne coming towards you, and he looks
Oh,
like he's
God.
gonna try to like go for a tackle on you and take you down.
Oh no.
So, let's see here. Doo-doo-doo. All right, so you sort of look over your shoulder and see an airborne Elvin, and he's gonna attempt to grab hold of you with a brawl. So
Can I just let you all know that in my head, the soundtrack to this scene is Chariots of Fire?
Hudson's just got a butter on his breath. Oh, Minnie's gonna kill me.
Let's see. Do you attempt to dodge as he comes at you?
Would I be able to do the thing I did before where I brawl try to dodge, or is it just I have to?
So you could attempt to brawl. So like that could be anything from punching him to like as he comes at you could try to shove him back. and sort of send him flying back away from you.
Like, I'm kind of picturing more of like the end of Lion King where Scar lunges at Simba and Simba just kind of like kicks him over.
You can definitely go for that if you want to do a brawl and try for something like that.
I'll try that.
All right.
I don't know if it's gonna work.
Minnie's gonna, if you die, Minnie's gonna somehow bring you back to life just to kill you again herself.
I'm waiting for the text from Katie. I don't know if she's watching though.
Well, you could always let him get turned into a zombie and bring him back to Minnie.
Oh no.
No. I didn't I'll get rifle on it.
All right, so you guys, Delilah, you grab the dynamite. You see Jeremiah go. As you turn back and you see Elvin looks like he just grabs onto Hudson, and Hudson is going down. And Lucas, you hear this, and you probably can look back and see the big form of Hudson going back on his back, and then you just see Elvin airborne again, flying toward the entrance of the mine. And he slams into the wall above the entrance and falls to the ground. As Hudson, your momentum carries you backward, kind of rolling down. And Lucas, he kind of rolls past you.
Am I on the ramp?
Yes, just tumbling away. The momentum of the hit, you just roll past Lucas and land sprawled on the ground at the bottom of the ramp. And you hear Elvin go, front.
Oh, poor guy.
And then you just hear the subtle, ow.
Lucas, what are you doing?
So all of our people are now, for the most part, on or down the ramp already.
Yeah, you are now the last. You're the last one to get down the ramp because Delilah and Jeremiah have met in the center of the camp between the tents and the ramp. Hudson is lying at your feet at the bottom of the ramp, and you kind of run over Hudson.
Okay, so I'm going to start backing on down the ramp now that we're all down, still facing, I'm backpedaling down the ramp. I'm assuming until I bump into Jeremiah and Delilah.
Okay. So
and
yeah,
then,
you back away.
Well, what are you all doing? Come on, we need to get out of here now. These things, they're going to keep coming.
And that is why I am taking this dynamite to the opening of the cave and blowing it up.
Oh.
Close them out the hill.
So you all best be running down the rest of the way. And just, Jeremiah, will you say a prayer for me just so I can make it down? Okay.
Please, Lord, protect her in this hour of need.
I'm going to look through my pockets and pull out the box of matches that I have with me.
Awesome.
And I'll strike one off my boot heel. Here we go.
Well, wait, I was thinking I would do it myself as I got closer to give me maximum time to run.
Well, there is currently a lit match in front of your face that Lucas is holding.
Not now.
These are expensive.
I'll pay you back. I'm rich. I struck gold and silver since we left town, and we've only been gone 2 days?
Hudson, you hear this little bickering, and you hear the footsteps, and you hear the sound of Elvin getting back to his feet up above you.
Give me a match.
Do it. Here, don't throw high. Just scoot it across the ground at their feet.
All right, so Delilah, you've got the matches, you've got the dynamite. You run back toward the ramp. You get halfway up the ramp. You can see Elvin. You run over, you jump over the form of Hudson who's trying to get up from the ground. And you get halfway up the ramp so you can see the entrance to this silver mine. And you see Elvin getting to his feet and looking towards you. And he sees the dynamite and you see recognition on his face. And he yells into the mine, "Go back!" What do you do?
Oh, he's yelling at me?
No, he's yelling at the figures in the mine. Go back.
I mean, I don't really care about that, because that actually works to my plan. I'm going to run a little bit closer.
Okay.
I'm not quite to the entrance, right?
No, you're probably about 15 feet from the opening and from Elvin.
Yep, she's gonna risk it. Because my throw skill is 20. Like, throwing it from this distance is not going to be accurate. It would be better for her to like light it and place it and run.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to go to one of the support beams, probably the one that was being butted because it's already been weakened slightly, and drop the dynamite there.
All right.
Oh, light it, put the dynamite there, and just run.
All right, so you guys watch as Delilah runs up to the top of the ramp. She lights this dynamite, and she sort of, like, drops it at the beam. And then you see her turn and, like, slow motion start to run. You see Elvin, get to his feet, it gets on all fours and scrambles into the cave. And you hear the footsteps of the others as you hear them moving deeper into the cave. So let's see. That was Hudson. You're lying on the ground.
Well, I'm in the process of getting up.
All right.
Yeah.
You see Delilah light this at the top of the ramp, and you see her like drop it. What do you do?
I'm just gonna start. Crap. Hold on. How close is she to me?
She's like 20 feet up the ramp from you.
Don't be a hero. Don't be a hero.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start running.
All
If she
right.
was close, he's gonna grab her and start running, but he's just gonna run.
She's faster on her own. She's faster without him.
Well, he doesn't know that. He's being a gentleman.
So Jeremiah, you stand about halfway between the camp and this cave. You see the dynamite lit. You see Hudson running. You see Delilah running.
I'm probably gonna turn and run back to the camp too.
Excellent. So everybody, as you're running, so you hear that shh, and Lucas, do you run as well away from this?
I'm gonna probably get down the ramp far enough to where there's a little bit of a cliff up to the landing.
Well, yeah,
right?
you're actually away from, like, you and Jeremiah were like halfway between the ramp and the camp. So you guys were in the middle of the little valley.
I'll probably just tuck in against the bottom of the cliff, so anything that projectiles out from the cave will just kind of go over my head.
Excellent. All right, so Delilah,
Mm-hmm.
first thing I would like you to do is to roll me a roll of 20d10.
Okay.
For the dynamite damage, I hope.
Ow.
I hope I get away. Or these are like all ones. Because I could survive. No, I only have 20 hit points. That doesn't actually let me survive.
Oh, all right. So, Delilah, Hudson, you are running. Delilah, you're like 20 feet behind Hudson. You guys are both running. And there is a gigantic kaboom behind you.
Action to jump.
So
She doesn't look back because
Cool guys don't look back the explosions.
So I want both of you guys to roll me dexterity rolls.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yes.
Oh, I'm using that luck. Screw
Oh,
it.
yeah.
All right, so there is this huge explosion. Lucas like ducks and covers his head as there's just debris like flies. Jeremiah, you ran back to the camp and you sort of like ducked and looked back, and all you see is like this just big boom, and you see the forms of Hudson and Delilah like, and they sort of disappear in like the smoke.
Oh God.
And you don't see Lucas, and you don't see Hudson, and you don't see Delilah as the smoke kind of billows out from the explosion. What do you do?
I'm gonna go get Sancho.
Your emotional support mule?
Bye.
Yeah.
All right, so you run toward the little pen where the horses and Sancho are actually freaking out now
Yeah.
from the explosion. You actually get there in time to see Sable almost kick his way out of the pen,
Oh,
but
jeez.
as you come in, you startle him enough that he doesn't break the gate behind him.
Hmm.
And then the other three of you, so Lucas, you sort of like shake some debris out of your hair, kind of shake your hat off. You look around and it's still like a cloud around you. It's hard to see, but you think you can see a couple of figures kind of picking themselves up, maybe about 15 feet or so away from you.
So I'm gonna go check to see if they're okay.
All right.
Approaching cautiously to make sure that one of those things weren't ejected out of the mine. But
All right. So you approach cautiously, and Hudson, you're getting to your feet, and you look to see Lucas sort of materialize through the smoke. And then Delilah, as you're getting to your feet, you turn around and you see two figures kind of in the smoke coming toward you. And you see Elvin and you see what looks like Boggs shuffling out of the smoke towards you.
Fuck.
Oh, God.
Shit.
What do you do?
Okay, so at this point, she's already run all the way out of the mine.
Yep.
Gone all the way down the ramp, whether or not it was running. Walked all the way back up the ramp. Walked halfway down. Or ran halfway down. Ran all the way back up. I think she's gassed. Like, part of her wants to run, but she just doesn't have any more steam. So I think she shoots at one of them.
All right, so Hudson and Lucas, you see Delilah get to her feet. You see her look in a panic from one of you to the other of you and back. And then you see her start to raise her gun. And we're going to stop there.
Oh, shit!
Like, is she raising her gun at us?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, she's so
I didn't even think of that as another possibility. You're so evil. You are.
Oh,
I have to wait 2 freaking
I
weeks.
knew it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, they all ran into the mine. How'd they get out? I
that was
like, oh,
perfection, man. Because I was like thinking, how are we gonna kill these son of bitches?
I know,
man?
that's what I was thinking
Like,
too.
Super good, Jeanette. I like that a lot.
Oh, until Delilah shoots one of us.
You shouldn't have said anything until next week.
Yeah, but this is better.
She likes us to suffer.
Okay, but think about all the stuff. She got a rifle butt to her solar plexus. Like, at this point, I don't know how she made it out alive. Your stubborn determination, I suppose.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Fantastic.
I didn't even think of that as being another possibility.
Very cool.
So, on
I
that
mean,
note,
my hat's off to you.
Yeah.
oh,
Oh, God.
all right. So on that, we'll leave that for our next.
I think I'm buying myself a natural 1 for next game so I can not shoot my friend that I've worked so hard to keep alive this session.
Can you imagine if I waited and she's like, a natural 20? It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
I mean, at least you let me know meta-wise what's going on.
Well, in the smoke and shadows, Hudson's going to be a bigger target than Lucas. So
Hudson looks like a big Boggs and Lucas looks like an Elvin.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get shot.
It's possible.
Sorry.
All right, so
She's all out of flight and decided to fight.
it's fair. So let's go around and we'll do some plugs. So why don't we start with Dylan?
Oh, hi, I'm Dylan. On Thursdays, on the Greyhawk channel here on Twitch, you can find me in Secrets of Castle Greyhawk, where, we're in Hell, that's right. Yeah, we're in Tiamat's lair, we're level 7, there's an ancient blue dragon. It's gonna be alright, I'm sure.
It's all good.
I might try and fight it, we'll see.
Excellent. And how about Jamie?
You can find me on Sundays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/katieface for the continuation of Mission Unbearable, a 6-session-long honey heist. We just finished session 3, and Jeanette, I'm going to remember this for Sunday.
Oh, crap. Oops.
I haven't shot you yet. I could miss.
It's true. Yeah, oops. Brooke, how about you?
Well, you have left me in a sheer panic yet again.
Welcome to Cthulhu.
Horror is generally not a genre like I choose to watch movies of. But it's fun nonetheless. I'm making roleplay decisions as my character would do. She's all out of flight, so she's not gonna just lay down and take it. But I will be on SS Adventure. No, I won't. Just kidding. I don't have anything going on. My birthday's next week, Monday, and I'm going out of town, so I won't be doing anything this week. But normally you can find me on Sundays at SS Adventure. And coming the end of March, the opposite Monday to this game, I have enough players to run my D&D 5e Ravnica game. So I'm pumped.
Good times.
And usually, and like I said before, you can find me on all the social medias. Oh, this isn't roleplay related, but I'm going to plug it anyway. Over on my Instagram, at TheaterNerd221, I have posted a picture every day since the start of the year, with the exception of one. And then I posted 2 pictures the next day. It'll be a little interesting how it goes these next couple of weekends because I'm LARPing. So I may miss another couple of days, but you can have fun, enjoy those pictures. And quite frankly, some days I post more than one picture, so that should make up for the days that I just don't post a picture. That's nice. How I'm. And they're my rules, and I can make them however I want. So, anyway.
LARP pictures, man. LARP pictures.
Yes.
I won't be able to whip out my phone during the middle of the game, though.
Cast a spell. Boop, boop.
It's post-apocalyptic zombie LARP. Like, we hardly have electricity for the lights.
That's fair. All right. And Celts, what do you got going on?
So, yeah, I'm the Celts on Twitter. Twitch, I float around as Diegeist. I will be, you can find me playing in a Vampire Masquerade campaign, 5e, Tuesdays at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern over on Soul Bear RPG. It's one of 3 storylines. So there's a storyline, the one I'm in is following the Anarch exploits through 1943 Los Angeles. And then if you are more of the speed of like the Camarilla, you can catch that cam game over on Welcome to the Party RPG on Twitch. That's Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And then the good old Sabat boys and gals are also on Welcome to the Party RPG Saturdays at 12 noon Eastern. So it's kind of like an interlocking. At some point, we're all going to be stepping on each other's toes. But it's basically the 1943 fight for Los Angeles.
Ooh.
Pretty fun.
Awesome.
And then, of course, here.
Excellent. And of course, hi, I'm Jeanette. You can find me playing Honey Heist with Jamie on Sundays at noon Eastern Time. You can find me on Saturdays on Power Score RPG from 3 to 5 p.m. playing Waterdeep Dragon Heist with Dylan. Though this week, it's entirely possible we get TPK'd, yeah. or we find 500,000 gold pieces. It's kind of a toss-up. So yeah, come see if we survive. But otherwise, I'm putting together a 5e game that I'm going to run here. It looks like it's developing into a fun pirate adventure. So that's coming soon, hopefully. And that's everything I got this week. So we'll be back in 2 weeks to see what happens next with our...
I worked so hard to save you all, and now I'm going to shoot one of you.
It's always a good Cthulhu session when you leave them grabbing their faces and pulling their hair out. So on that note, I hope everybody has a great week. Happy birthday to Brooke. I hope you celebrate well next week and enjoy your LARP. And everybody take care, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for more fun.
See you guys. Happy birthday, Brooke.
Bye. Happy birthday, Brooke.
Bye.
See you guys.